Hi there, everybody. My name is Roger Cox, but if you've been following me at all, you probably already know that. Um, Come on in to my home. Excuse me while I do some housekeeping tasks here. I'm just going to share this video out to a few people because I'm sure they want to hear what I have to say. Because this is probably going to be one of the most interesting broadcasts I've done for a little while. Because I'm going to get personal. You like me to get personal, right? So yeah, I'm going to talk about some pain I had in my growing up years. And so stick around. As soon as I get done sharing this, I'm going to talk about that. So we'll get going with that here just pretty quickly. Hi, Scott McKenzie. Just stick with me for a little bit here. I'm going to share some of this out. And it just got a couple of groups I'm going to do that to, so it shouldn't take me very long. And we're going to talk about your past and how it can affect your future, really. And I'm going to tell some stories. And one of the stories is about me. And of course, one of the stories is about someone famous, which you've probably heard of. And then we're going to talk about your story. And what your story is all about, okay? Okay. Well, I need to mute my thing here before it makes a lot of noise. Let me do that real quick. And we'll be ready to go. So yeah, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story to share. And I'm going to talk about mine. First of all, I'm going to move over here to where I can get away from my messy desk here. I'm sure that's not a problem to you guys. You don't have messy desks, right? Okay, I'm ready to roll it here. Again, my name is Roger Cox, and I have the Facebook page at facebook.com, Health and Freedom with Roger Cox, and I have my blog, which you'll find all kinds of good stuff on there. And that is www.rogercox.net, and make sure you do the net and not the com. Because as I said before, if you go to rogercox.com, I have no idea who you're going to get. Actually, I do, because I actually did a search on that one time, and that particular domain is not being used. It's been reserved. Somebody has it, but he's not using it. He just has it parked. So make sure you go to rogercox.net, and you'll get me. So tonight, I am talking about your story and your past. And how your past can actually make your story, and can make you your past, depending on what it was, can either break you, or you can use your past to go on and do some wonderful things. There was a guy that I just read about. Well, I read about him a little while back, but I just read just recently about this. When he graduated from high school, he got a job in a chicken factory. Now, in a chicken factory, they don't make chickens. That's not what a chicken factory does. They don't make chickens. What they do is destroy chickens. They're gone. A bunch of chickens come along and they destroy chickens. So in this chicken factory. So this guy had a job in a chicken factory, and these chickens would come down the assembly line. And if I remember right, he said there was about 38 chickens per minute. He called it a BPM, which is birds per minute. So 38 chickens would come down this conveyor belt or something. They'd come by him, and during the course of a day, he said he would process, quote, process, I think it was like 21,000 chickens in a day's work. And he got paid the whopping sum of a little over $3 an hour. And I don't know if that was a good wage back then, but I'm assuming that was probably minimum wage. So that was his job, fresh out of high school, chicken factory. Chickens would come by and he would cut them up. That's what he would do. He would cut these chickens, 38 of them per minute, all day long. And that's his background. That's where he came from. And he went on to overcome his background, or to move on from there, and he became a very well-known network marketer, or network marketer trainer. And if you've been in the industry any length of time at all, you've read his books. His name is Richard Bliss Brooke, and he's written a bunch of books, which I'm sure you'll recognize. He took his past. His past did not define him. no matter what it was at the time, he took his past and was able to go on from there. Okay, so that's Richard Bliss Brooks' story. Now my story, and this is kind of painful for me because this was a painful time in my life. Okay, picture me when I'm about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years of age, and my dad liked to sing and play the guitar. And there goes the phone, and I'm just going to ignore it. Hopefully you can ignore it as well, and we'll pick it up later. That's the great thing about these live broadcasts. You never know what's going to happen. The phone rings in the background, dog runs in, whatever. So anyway, I'm 7, 8, 9 years of age at the time, and my dad used to play guitar and sing, and he was, pretty good for the area we were in. He was like a big fish in a small pond, but he would get invited and to go to different programs, and he performed, all over northern Kansas and southern Nebraska. And as I got older, I learned to play the guitar, and I kind of went with him. But he was very much into the Nashville stuff. Nashville was his mecca, and he wanted to be good enough to go to Nashville. And so being a son of his, I just naturally kind of wanted to do the same thing. So I would sing, and I used to sing a lot, I guess, from what I remember. And that phone is really distracting. I hope it quits pretty soon. So anyway, I would sing, and I don't know if I was any good or not. I thought I was, and I'd sing really loud, evidently, from what I remember. Because the painful part of the story was one time I was in music class, and I remember my music teacher asking me, and I think it was probably a polite way, she asked me not to sing so loud, and she probably meant it as an innocent remark. Maybe I was overpowering everybody else, and I was just singing too loud, but my perception of it was, at the time, was that she thought I was a terrible singer and that I should, not sing. And so that kind of hurt, and I stopped singing at that time. I didn't sing for people. Occasionally, I lived on a farm, and occasionally I'd go out to the pig pen, and I'd sing to the pigs. Pigs don't care what you sound like. So I was singing to the pigs. And I remember this one time, my dad had one of these tape recorders, reel-to-reel tape recorders. Most of you probably have no idea what that was, but it was even before the cassette tape players. And most of you probably don't even know what a cassette tape player is. Google it. But anyway, we had these little reels for the reel-to-reel tape player. They were about that big around, not very big. And so he had one of those, and I got it one time, and I had my own little reel of tape, and I recorded myself singing. Okay, and I remember the song to this day. It was called "A Little Bitty Tear Let Me Down," and I think it was by Burl Ives or somebody like that. And again, you probably have no idea who he is. But Google him. So I sang that, and I listened to it. And if any of you if you ever remember hearing yourself for the first time on a recording device, and your thoughts as you heard yourself, for most of us, picture this. I'm 8 or 9, and in my perception, my voice, I'm like a superhero with my voice. I'm a manly voice man. But the sound coming out of that tape recorder was not a manly voice man. It was like a little kid, with their voice was way up here, and sometimes it was like my voice was changing. It didn't sound good at all. And so I can kind of remember, well, maybe my music teacher was right. Maybe I'm not a very good singer. So my dad, I forgot to take the reel out of the tape recorder, and next time he used the tape recorder, he found the reel and he listened to it, and he thought it was pretty good. He showed it. He let my grandma listen to it. And she listened to it, and she said, "Yeah, you're good," which is what grandmas are supposed to say, right? Grandmas are supposed to be encouraging. But I didn't buy it. But the long story short is, because that music teacher, in my mind, she told me that I was not a good singer, which is probably not what she meant at all. It was my misperception of what she was what she said. But the result was I stopped singing. And if any of you know, when you have a skill or a talent, and you stop doing that skill or that talent, a lot of times you lose it. And that's what happened to me, for sure. Because I can still play the guitar. I can hear sounds. I can hear differences in tone. I was a pretty good guitar player. But when I sang, I could sing maybe one, maybe two notes. That was my range. You know, because I didn't sing anymore. My singing muscles weren't trained. And so I lost the ability to sing. So there was one case where a perceived failing of mine kept me from learning how to sing. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes we get this idea in our head that we're this, or we're not this, we're not good at this, or we're not good at that. And we get these ideas in our head, and some of them are misconceptions, and we think that we stink at that. We're terrible. And so that hinders our future progress. If I'd have kept singing, I could have. I've never gone to Nashville for sure, but at least I could maybe carry a tune. I can, sound a little bit, sound okay. So here's the thing. You have your own story. We talked about Richard Bliss and his story. We talked about my story and this painful time in my, it scarred me for life. Yeah, I look pretty scarred, right? So you have a story as well. You have times in your life where things didn't go quite like they wanted to, and I would bet that they still bother you somewhat today. There's things that happened in your life where it could have been a misperception of what somebody said, or you just interpreted something wrong. But you now have these ideas that you are this, but you are not that. And that may not be correct. The thoughts and the experiences you've had in the past have shaped you what you are today, and it may not be true anymore, what you are today. So here's the second part that I want to talk about. This is the important part, okay? We all have a story. Some of the stories are painful, but there's a lot of people have taken their painful stories and their memories and made stories out of them and used them to move on. Richard Bliss Brooke became a famous network marketer, trainer, and he's made millions of dollars in money now. I went on and I've grown. I'm no millionaire or anything like that, but I survived. I don't sing anymore, but I do other things, and I got some other talents. I survived. I moved on from it. And the things that have happened in your life, you can move on from them as well. You can go on, and you can even find a way to take that experience and make a story out of it, because people like stories. When you're doing your network marketing business, or you're doing your online marketing, stories are what people like. The facts just kind of put people to sleep sometimes. Stories. So if you have a story, use it. Use your story, even if it's a bad story, because you always overcome the bad things if you try, if you work at it. Use your story. Tell people about your story. You're going to gain that like and trust quality. If you're vulnerable, tell your story. Tell them what you did. How you overcame that. And you can be an inspiration to somebody. So, doing your network marketing business, use a story. Use stories. Find your story, because you have a story. I guarantee it. Every one of us has a story to tell. We just need to get the courage to get it out there. Not to. We tend to protect ourselves sometimes, and we don't want to tell people the bad things about us, or our vulnerabilities. We don't want to be vulnerable. But if you share them, especially when you're trying to do a network marketing business, let people know you're human. Because they already know you're not perfect. So go ahead and talk about yourself. Get people to like and trust you, to know, like, and trust you, and that's how you build your network marketing business. That's my video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, go to rogercox.net. That's where my blog is. And I also have a lot of activity on facebook.com, Health and Freedom with Roger Cox. Put some comments down there. Talk to me. If you want to learn how to do your marketing online, if you want just free information, I have information about how to do marketing on Facebook specifically. It's like a 77-page PDF and a tutorial that goes with that. And I'm willing to give that to you. All I need is for you to comment down there, say, send it to me. And I'll send it to you through private message, and you can look at that. So have a great evening. And I wanted to show you one thing. We talked about my dad and playing and singing and his guitar. I want to show you something. If I can get over here without breaking something. Okay. See the guitar right over my shoulder there? That, my friends, is the very first guitar my dad ever had. I used to have a clock in it. We kind of saved it as a heirloom. Not a heirloom, you know what those are. An heirloom. So that's my dad's. I'm trying to get it all in there. There we go. It's my dad's first guitar. Then over here we have my dad's last guitar that he ever owned. When he passed away, he had that guitar. So tell your story. Tell people your story. Don't be just somebody online that they don't know anything about. Let people get to know you, and they will trust you, and they'll be more likely to work with you, to be your team member, to even buy from you. So again, if you want some information about Facebook, about how to market online, put your name down there or say I want some information, and I'll get it to you as quick as I can. May not be tonight, but I'll get it to you pronto. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.